Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Harold here, Figuremania Show. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you are in the world. And in today's video, I am so happy and thrilled to be doing this video. We finally have it. It's finally released. This is the Hiya Toys Exquisite Basic Godzilla 1991 Hokkaido Battle version. And man, I've been waiting for quite a while for this one. It's one of my most anticipated figures this year, and you know, I spent a little bit of time posing him and things, and this figure is absolutely phenomenal. I think Hiya Toys knocked it out of the park with this one. A few little things here and there that could be improved and things, but overall this figure is absolutely solid. For you Toho fans, Godzilla collectors, this is a must-have figure for sure. Now before I go any further, I want to give a very special shout out and thank you to Hiya Toys for sending me this figure for review. And if you guys are still looking to pick this figure up, currently right now from the time of recording, this figure is on pre-order at kowkistoy.com. You can use my promo code Figuremania-kowkis to get 6% off, and let's continue with the review. Before continuing on to the figure, I want to quickly show you the box. I think this is a very nice looking box. I really like the box art here. So here we have the our Godzilla here on the front. We have in Japanese Godzilla versus King Ghidorah Exquisite Basic Series. Okay, Godzilla 1991 Hokkaido Battle version. And okay, we got promotional images on the back and on the sides and things. So this all looks really cool. All right, now let's continue on with the figure itself. This figure comes with everything you see here. This figure does come with a pair of extra hands. So these are the gripping hands, or clutch hands if you want to call it that. So okay, so very nice detail and paint on them. I like the way you know, this is painted. Let me just move the light a little bit so you guys can take a better look at it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys here. Okay, so nice paint apps on it. Okay, I like how they dirtied up the nails and stuff and things like that yellowish, dark yellowish color. Very nice. So it's consistent throughout the figure, you know, on both hands and things. So nice texture on the hands as well, which is all very good. Now moving on to the sculpting detail of this figure, I think this figure looks absolutely phenomenal from head to toe. As you can see the curvature of the tail that this figure is capable of. I'll show you the articulation a little bit in a moment, but I really like it. So as you guys may or may not know, this figure is digitally sculpted. Okay, and I really like how it feels. It's got like a nice heft to it and things. It is you know, it's got like a smooth feel to the figure and things. You know, I do have about 6 lights shining on it, so you may, you know, for some people it does have just like a very small touch of gloss to it, but that's just, you know, the nature of the plastic and things. But it's not distracting or anything. It takes nothing away from the figure, just letting you know that it is there, but it's not distracting or, you know, hardly noticeable and things. But yeah, it's really cool. I personally think Hiya Toys did a phenomenal job with this figure. He really captures the spirit of Godzilla 91. He's well proportioned. He's you know, he's got that signature body that he's supposed to have. He's got like the, you know, the wide chest and things. Very good. Everything is for me is like pretty much nearly spot on in my opinion. Okay, now from head to toe, you know, this figure is painted very nicely. You know, and it's got like that traditional charcoal black color that you know, the high side Godzilla is known for. Even the let me just bring him closer. The paint apps on the dorsal fins is done all nicely. There's nice texture on the sculpting of the dorsal fins. You know, it's got good texture, texture for on the figure. Very nice. So it's not smooth, like, even though like having it in hand, it does feel sort of smooth, you know what I mean, but there is texture to it, and there is a slight bit of gloss, but it's not distracting in any way, so it doesn't take anything away from the figure and things. And this figure poses incredible. I'm going to show you the articulation in a moment. Okay, so let's just zoom in on the figure, and then from head to toe, and then we'll look at the articulation. Zooming in on the head, you can see, there's nice detail work on the sculpt of the head. The teeth look nice and sharp, and it looks nicely painted as well. Let me see if I can just move the head a little bit just to see if we can get let's shine a light there. So, like, to the naked eye, at normal arm's length, you don't notice any imperfections or anything like that. But, like, having this in hand, this figure looks phenomenal. So you don't see any of the, this tiny flaws and stuff if you guys are looking to be nitpicky or anything like that. But I think it looks phenomenal. Now, in terms of the eyes, I mean, there has been talk on the internet about the eyes, and now looking at it from this angle, it looks nice. So I think the eyes look really good like this, but then as soon as you give him if you look at him straight on, then it doesn't look as appealing as how I think you've seen in some of the promo photos and stuff. So this is an area that could be improved upon for Hiya toys. So like it's very small, but for me as a toy photographer, if I wanted to do close-up shots of the figure here, having the eyes look like that is pretty distracting. I would definitely want to get mine repainted. So hopefully, for future releases of the high side Godzilla figures, that this Hiya can make some adjustments on the eyes. Okay, but other than that, everything looks pretty much on point in hand. So this is it's not bad, but it could be better. And giving you a closer look at the sculpting details and the paint on the body. So I think you guys can notice the gloss, but that's just the nature of the plastic that's being used here to create this figure. This figure, like the plastic quality of this figure is pretty malleable, which I will show you guys in a bit. But it's very good. I really like it. And now looking at the paint app on the tail, so as you can see, the paint apps on the dorsals from head to toe are very consistent. No dorsal plate or dorsal fin unpainted, which is nice to see. And to show you the paint apps on the back of the head and neck, so it's all very consistent. Very good. And now let's look at the articulation, and this is like the best posing Godzilla figure you'll ever see, to date. Okay, so I will show you guys that in this segment here. So let's start with the head. So the head can turn nice and easily. Okay, so like whenever turning the head, you have to be aware of these floating pieces, so like for you toy photographers out there, so when doing photos, you have to make sure that these parts are properly aligned. Let me just bring this guy closer. Okay, so very good. Okay, so opening the mouth up is fairly easy. So very nice. Now that he can look up, you can't push the articulation of his head to look all the way up like that. Okay, that's as much as I can push it. But when you do that, be aware that you get these these gaps. So you have to try and minimize those gaps as much as you can manually. Okay, so that's pretty good. So that's very nice. Okay, and then looking down, so you know, so there's like 3 parts here to the neck. So now when he can look down pretty far like that. Okay, so that's pretty good, but be aware that, you know, when you are posing them like that, especially for toy photography, you will get these gaps, you know, so you just have to try and you know, make sure that this is away from the camera so that you know, the camera doesn't pick it up. Okay, so you know, the neck can tilt side to side very well, so this is good for, you know, swimming poses too, if you wanted to do that. So let me get him in a swimming pose. So that looks pretty cool. So this Godzilla can pull off the swimming pose quite nicely. So he can look around. Look at that. That looks really nice. Let me just adjust the camera. Look at that. That looks really cool. Like he's looking at a submarine or something like that, like off over here. So you can pull off that that pose very nicely with this Godzilla. Very cool. Okay, now let me just adjust the camera back a little. Okay, just the neck, and you know, he can do a nice T pose. Okay, and you can, let's see if I can rotate the arms all the way around. I can very easily. Okay, and there's a little bit of a hinge on the shoulder, so you know, this is good for, you know, giving you like that extra movement, like when doing T poses and stuff. So you just got to be aware of that. Okay, and he's got good range at the elbows, so he's got a lot of range, enough range that he can even touch his own face, his own head, which is really nice. Okay, so again, the malleable plastic of this figure, it really helps with that. You know, you really can push the articulation a little bit more on this figure, which is really nice. Okay, so you got good elbow bending at this, you know, for this figure, and you also have a, you know, a ball joint here on the forearm, which helps with more, you know, more articulation, more posing. So see, he can touch his own chest like that. Okay, and also there is a there's also a wrist part for this Godzilla. So now, just got to be aware to, if you push the bending of the wrist a little bit too much, you know, you will, you know, pop the hands off, which is not a huge problem. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit. So very nice. Okay, and look at that. So I just did it again. Very cool. And now let's move down towards the midsection here. Okay, so there's he can do a crunch about that much. Okay, so, but when he does the crunch, you know, there's like this little gap here. Just got to be aware of that. Okay, and he can tilt side to side. Okay, this part here is pretty soft, so it really helps with the range for this, you know, for moving or posing him like that. You can turn him around. I think I can. Yes, I can. I can do this all the way around too, you know, so that's there. Okay, and now let's look at the legs. So there's good articulation range at the legs. I mean, look at that. He can do the Van Damme. Okay, like that. Stretching out his legs. Look at that. That looks incredible. Van Damme. All right. So, oh, look at that. Okay, so you can get a taekwondo kick. Wow, look at that, guys. Hold on a second. Let me just adjust the camera a little bit. Okay, so that's pretty neat. Excuse my dog. She's barking in the background. And just like the Godzilla 2014 figure, this figure also has double jointed knees, and I'm very happy that they implemented this this knee bend system into this Godzilla. I really hope that this is the the standard moving forward for Hiya toys. It really helps with just pushing the articulation and the posing a little bit more for these figures, which is I find phenomenal. Just look at that bend in the knee, just really nice. Okay, so he also has ankle pivot. Okay, so you can easily get him in that sumo pose. Really cool. I really like it. This is so good. And now it's time to show you guys the best tail articulation of any Godzilla figure out there. Hiya knocked it out of the park with this one. So let me show you guys. So every segment here has a ball joint from this part all the way to the very tip of the tail. These are all ball joints. Okay, so let me just show you how much you can move. How you can look at. I'm going to show you the curvature of it. So look at that. You guys see that? Look at this. That's crazy. That's crazy tail articulation. That's the first. Look at that. You can coil it up like that. Look at that. Okay, so, and of course, I mean, you got so much articulation that there's no problem pushing the tail out in front of him like that. Okay. You can even get it to almost touch the top of his head. Okay, so yeah, insane levels of articulation for the tail, which is really good. And you can even go beyond that, and you can do some extra fun stuff with the tail. Let me show you guys. And in case you guys were wondering, was I using a stand for that photo that you guys saw on Instagram? I was not. As you can see, look at that. That is incredible. So you can get him to balance on his tail and do like a little meditation pose. Look at that. That's so cool. I'm so happy that I can do that with this figure. I gotta show you something, guys, to make you aware about placing the hands on, because all right, now I took this off because I want to show you this part right here on the wrist. This can move around like that. Okay, so it can move around, and you have to be aware that if you happen to find yourself to be in a situation that the hands can't seem to be fitting on properly, like if you try putting the hands on and it just keeps popping off and things, chances are that this part is not positioned properly. So I move it back like this. See, because like the hand, like if you notice, it's got like its own pattern here, so it's got to fit with this wrist part here on the figure. So then once you get that aligned, okay, there. So it took me a couple of tries to get the hands on, because I had to make sure that this wrist part is properly aligned with the hand. If it's not, then you're gonna have a difficult time, you know, placing the hands on. Okay, and it can't pop off easily if it's not properly connected. Okay, so there you go. You see that? So just to be aware, okay, guys, this thing it's got wrist joints. I find the open hands to be to accommodate easier on that peg than these other hands. For some reason, I don't know, but I prefer these open hands a lot better than these other hands, so I'm gonna keep these hands on for my figure. Let's get into size comparisons, and for the very first size comparison, of course, is gonna be the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 91, and you can see there's a big difference in terms of the scale, but also too, if you zoom in, let me zoom in closer so you guys can see there's an obvious difference between the two figures in terms of the texture. Now, say what you want about the SH Monster Arts, I really like you know, the texture that the SH Monster Arts figure have. Like, it's got that nice crisp detail to it and things, you know, and it's you know, it's more matted than the Hiya one, of course, and things, you know, like one is a hand sculpted figure and the other one is a digital sculpted figure, you know. So both are good, you know, both have their merits and things, you know. So like I like both of them, but this is more of an incentive for me to, you know, collect both these figures. I mean, I really like how each you know, each one, you know, presents different things, you know, it just presents a different feel for this character. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I really like it. For the next size comparison, let's bring out the Super 7 Toho Ultimates. All right, whoa. He's pretty big. Hold on a second. There you go. Okay, so yeah, I'm happy that I have all these guys on my shelf. This is really cool. Really like it. Very nice. For the next size comparison, let's take out the SH Monster Arts 91 and let's put in the SH Monster Arts, the Toho Godzilla 1989. My all-time favorite SH Monster Arts figure. Pretty cool. Okay, so you can see, I mean, this guy's huge. Nice hefty figure. Let's do another one. Let's bring out Godzilla Re-Evolved, and this looks pretty cool. Really like that. Man, so cool. Probably like my all-time favorite Godzilla, legendary Godzilla. Really, really like him. So cool. For this next size comparison, unfortunately, I do not have the SH Monster Arts King Ghidorah 91, but I do have Mecha King Ghidorah, so I'll just go ahead and bring that figure out so you can see the size comparison for this figure. Let me just adjust the camera. So very nice. That's pretty good. Okay, let me bring the SH Monster Arts figure back out. Okay, so I think you know, with between these two guys, I mean, I think the scaling is okay, but I think you know, this might be a little bit better. I'm not too sure. Okay, so I think it really depends on personal preferences. But if you look at the differences like of the size of the heads, so they are a bit different. You know, pretty cool. The thought just occurred to me to bring out this SH Monster Arts Godzilla 89. If you recall from at the beginning of the High Size Saga, Godzilla was 80 meters tall. And then later in Godzilla 91, he gets upgraded to 100 meters. So, you know, this is kind of cool, like, you know, seeing like the transition. I don't know if this is, you know, accurate or not and things, but I think it's in the ballpark that you can pull it off where like Godzilla does become bigger and more powerful, you know, from 89 to 91, which is pretty cool. And for the final size comparisons, I know you guys want to see him, so I will go ahead and bring him out, and he's coming up in the next video. This is, of course, the one and only Ghidorah. Oh man, I got to adjust the camera already. Hold on a second. There you go. Hold on. Even more. Man, he is a beast of a figure. Let me just pull the camera back a little bit more. Man, huge. Okay, so King Ghidorah 1991, it's in all its glory. Fantastic figure, and he is huge, guys. That's coming up in the next figure review. I just wanted to show you guys, so to give you guys the size comparison, you know, for this figure, if you guys were curious, okay, which I'm sure you are. And that's it for this review, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys are excited to pick up this brand new figure by Hiya Toys. This was an important release for Hiya Toys. This is the first Toho figure that they've released, and I think Hiya Toys really knocked that out of the park with this one. I'm really impressed. I really like everything that you know, that comes with this figure, and I'm pretty sure you guys will enjoy it. Now, the next video, of course, will be King Ghidorah 1991. So stay tuned for that one, guys. I'll be working on that video next, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.